Spanish just by utilizing the SAP button on your television. Down to the field we go, and the third member of our crew, Mike Goldberg, who's with the Rams head coach, Dick Vermeil.
Well, thank you, Kurt. I guess the most asked question in football right now, Dick, can Kurt Warner continue to play flawlessly?
I don't think he can continue at the pace that he has been playing, but he can continue to play like a fine player.
And for the Falcons, a healthy Chris Chandler makes them a better football team than the one you beat 3 weeks ago.
No question. They'll be a better team today.
Good luck today.
Thank you.
Back up to you, Kurt.
Thank you, Mike. Vermeil looking to lead his Rams to their first 5-0 start since 1989. Tony Horn back to take the kickoff from Morton Anderson. Out of his end zone. Horn sent free out to the 24-yard line, a 26-yard return. Omar Brown with the tackle. But it brings us to the mighty Kurt Warner, the talk of the National Football League. 5 TD passes last week, 14 in his first 4 games as a starter. The guys up front for him. The big change this week is that left guard Andy McCollum will start for Tom Newton, who's out with back spasms. The backs and receivers, known as the Warner brothers, led by Marshall Falk and Robert Holcomb in the backfield. The rookie Corey Holmes and Isaac Bruce, the receivers. Roland Williams, the second-year man out of Syracuse, is the starting tight end.
Marshall Falk in the first game 3 weeks ago against the Falcons had his best game in the season.
The Rams open with 2 tight ends in the game. Isaac Bruce in motion. Falk. Marshall Falk picked up 5 yards. The Falcons defense, they've been banged up all season long up front. All 4 of the guys playing with injuries, but they say they're as healthy as they have been all season long. The trouble is at linebacker. The middle linebacker this week, Henri Crockett, moves over from the weak side. Ruffin Hamilton makes his first NFL start, and Craig Sauer replacing Jesse Tuggle and Keith Brooking. Bradford and Buchanan the corners. Robinson and Carter are the safeties. On second down, Marshall Falk stops at the line of scrimmage.
That's what you're going to see all day today from the Falcons, at least early in this game, is pressure from the middle. That time they split inside linebackers, Ruffin Hamilton and Henri Crockett, and disrupted that play. You're going to see it right here. I mean, both guys are going to be coming in here now through the same gap. They're able to get one, but they can't get both. Marshall Falk, no place to go. You're going to see teams around the league this year blitzing on early downs to take the run away from teams.
Kurt Warner has been brilliant on third down this season, completing over 75% of his passes. He's got a third down and 5 now. Needs to get to the 34 for the first. Gets there. Isaac Bruce.
And that's the matchup today, Kurt. Ray Buchanan and Isaac Bruce all over the field. They go all the way back from college. So they played against each other. Here's Isaac in motion right now. He's going to run Ray all the way through that traffic there. Kurt Warner just waiting for him to open up. And that's the strength of Kurt Warner, is he is accurate. We saw on third down over 75% this year, Kurt. And he just has a great touch, and that's the number one thing for a quarterback. Be accurate with the football, and Warner has it.
Well, he got Bruce for 10 yards on that one. First down from the 38. There's Bruce again. Marty Carter on the tackle. So Kurt Warner, who has been so good out of the starting gate, completes his first 2 passes.
Well, Isaac Bruce, the leading receiver in this league, yardage-wise. You know, and you're going to see right here, Robert Holcomb is going to be in a hole here, wide open. But Kurt Warner wants to get it to Bruce because he's the touchdown maker. Scored 6 of them this year. You're going to see Holcomb right here, wide open. But so is Isaac Bruce, sitting down in the zone. You know, his eyes are up to the best.
Marshall Falk deep in the eye. He gets the pitch. Got room outside. All the way down to the Atlanta 38-yard line before Ronnie Bradford gets him. A pickup of 16.
The beauty of this offense and why it's so fun to watch it is different wrinkles every week. This is like the old option right here in college. Fake one way and then get it to Warner. And they wanted to get it to Falk here early in this game, get him started. Last week he went out in the first series of the game with a hip pointer and played sparingly since. And really his only big game this year with Rams 3 weeks ago. They want to get Marshall involved like that play that just did.
In that game against Atlanta, he had 105 yards rushing. He gets the pitch. This time they fake the reverse. Falk picked up 9 yards. Shane Dronette gets it, but Marshall Faulk has done well against these Atlanta Falcons in the previous meeting, as we mentioned just 3 weeks ago.
Well, he's a pro. And, you know, his breakout game, he had a 172 all-purpose yards 3 weeks ago in this game. His only 100-yard game of the season, rushing the ball. You know, and Faulk isn't even really been talked about since that game in this offense. That's how explosive they are. And remember, Marshall Faulk last was the NFL leader in total yards from scrimmage.
The Rams go with both their receivers at the top of the screen. Torrey Holt in the slot. Isaac Bruce outside. They fake the reverse. Warner dumps it off to Robert Holcomb out of the backfield. Holcomb spins free. Down to the Atlanta 16 before Marty Carter gets it. The Rams pulling out all their bags of tricks here early against Atlanta.
Last week against San Francisco, they started the game. The first 13 plays with 13 different formations. Watch what the fake here. When Isaac comes around, you're going to see here. Watch the defenders all go with Isaac, and none of them go after Warner. That allows Kirk to get this ball off. They're out in front right there. You got Adam Timmerman, the lead guard. Now, Robert Holcomb, who's put on about 12 or 15 pounds since last year, is a tweener. Half running back, half fullback. That was the running back.
He gets 14 yards on the play. Warner, all alone. Towards the back of the end zone. Caught, but out of bounds. Isaac Bruce. Boy, Warner had all kinds of time there, but Bruce is slow getting up.
Have you ever seen such a wide-open offense? I mean, you talk about, you know, afraid that the bubble's going to burst and all this kind of stuff. When you've got this kind of action going on the backfield, you don't know where to key. Here's the bootleg right now. Here's the strength of Kurt Warner, what we've seen this year. Out of the pocket now, almost as dangerous as he is in the pocket. Now, you can say that Eugene Robinson pushed him out here, but I think Isaac Bruce would have landed out of bounds without the push, regardless. So that's a good call by the official. Was not forced out.
The Rams, second down from the 16. They've been brilliant inside the red zone. Give it to Marshall Faulk. Faulk inside the 10. Knocked out of bounds by Ronnie Bradford.
You know, the Falcons right now, Kirk, got to be saying, what's hitting them? And they're like in the middle of the ring, and there's a flurry attack in the boxer, and they don't know what to do. There's so many different formations and coming at you with so many weapons. And clearly, the game plan today, get Marshall Faulk involved in the game plan, either in the air where he's an excellent receiver and led the AFC in receiving last year, or out of the backfield.
This is the 10th play for the Rams. We talked about them in the red zone. 11 touchdowns and 15 possessions inside the red zone this season. From the 4, first and goal. Warner, touchdown, St. Louis Rams. Isaac Bruce. His 7th touchdown of the season.
He only had 6 the last 2 years combined, but this is a healthy Isaac Bruce. And it's just pitch and catch. It's a two-man game between these two guys. This is just a semi-roll right now. It's a two-man game with Warner and Bruce. Really, Ray Buchanan had no shot. Well, there was confusion on that play about who was going to jump on Isaac Bruce.
That was Ruffin Hamilton, who admitted he makes his first NFL start. In place of Jesse Tuggle back there. May have missed it, but Rick Wilkins does not miss the extra point. Jeff Wilkins gets it, and the Rams take a 7-0 lead on their first possession. So the Rams go 76 yards, completing a 4-yard pass to Isaac Bruce for the 7-0 lead here in Atlanta. Ray Buchanan was the guy who got beaten on that one. But maybe it wasn't his fault?
No, was looking at the rookie linebacker, Ruffin Hamilton, that he was supposed to be over there. Really, it should have been 3 defensive players on 2 offensive, and ended up 2 on 2. But nonetheless, an impressive 10-play drive right there, and total creativity from Mike Marks, the offensive coordinator.
Jeff Wilkins kicks off. Tim Dwight from his 6. He's got a seam out to the 25, flags on the play. Charlie Clemens with the tackle, the big man. Our referee, Ron Blum, will sort it out with his crew.
The Falcons are going to be Mark's opening drive in bad field position. Holding against the Falcons. Kind of remarkable, talking to Dick Vermeil yesterday, the Rams, they haven't had a special team penalty the first 4 weeks of the season.
During the return, 52 of the receiving team, 10 yards, timeout.
That's on Craig Sauer. Joe DeCamillis, the special teams coach, a little bit upset. The Falcons take over their first possession, down by a touchdown. Nothing Hull. Their first possession of the first quarter. Terrence Mathis in motion. Ken Oxendine. Nice pickup out to the 22-yard line, a gain of 9. But there is a penalty flag down once again.
Another hold here
Against Atlanta.
Yeah.
Holding. 64 offense. Half the distance to the goal. Repeat first down.
That's the left guard, Bob Hallen.
They've struggled at left guard this year, as the Falcons have struggled in the first quarter, in the first half this season, being outscored 82-20 after that opening drive. Tough to play from behind week after week.
So they back it up to the 8-yard line. First down for Atlanta. Chandler hands off to Ken Oxendine, who stopped for a short 2-yard pickup by Grant Wistrom. The Rams on the board first, leading at 7-0, thanks to a nice play by their offense and a bad play by the Falcons defense.
Well, you see, it's a two-man game right here. You got Isaac Bruce right here in the slot. Look at Ray Buchanan over here. He's telling the inside linebacker, Ruffin Hamilton, to get out there. Have an extra man in coverage, and the linebacker who's making his first start this year blew the coverage. And Ray Buchanan got left on an island and got burned as a result.
Ken Oxendine, the lone back for the Falcons. Chandler, his first pass attempt. Incomplete. In the direction of Brian Kozlowski, but DeMarco Farr got a hand on it. Falcons offense led by Chandler, making his first start in 3 weeks. They're hoping he can finish this game because that usually spells success for them. The guys up front, Whitfield, Hallen, Tobeck, G-Lom in the backfield. They start Ken Oxendine as his second pro start. Bob Christian, Chris Callaway, Terrence Mathis, and O.J. Santiago is the tight end. It's a third down for Atlanta, 13 yards to go. They need to get it just shy of the 24-yard line for the first. Movement. Falcons look like they have a free play. Terrence Mathis doesn't hold on to it, almost picked off Dexter McLeon. But there was movement early.
You know, one of the things Chris Chandler does is he gives you an unrhythmic count, and that was a long count, probably almost a 4 count.
Offside, 93 defense, 5 yards, repeat third down.
And that was Kevin Carter. Let's hear what he heard.
Yeah, Chris Chandler went all the way to a 4 count. You know, usually you see your own offensive lineman jump when you get to a 4 count. And that's exactly what he wanted. He wanted to get a free 5-yard field position.
Falcons with 3 receivers in. They still need the 23 beyond it for the first. Ken gets rid of it. Hit hard and attacked by Ray Agnew.
Browning, quarterback was out of the pocket.
Well, you know, Chris Chandler right now has been chased by the defensive line in the first series, and he's a little gimpy now. He's got a right hamstring pull that suffered. Now, he has a chance to run right here, but Chris Chandler isn't helping. And so he pulls back to try to make the play, and he's gimpy getting off the field. Right now, Chris Agnew around the corner for a first down, but not with the hamstring. That's probably at best about 80%.
And he's also battling the flu today, so not 100%. Dan Straczynski to Oz Hakeem. Hakeem hit, loses the ball, but it goes out of bounds. Nice open field play, Elijah Williams. 42 yards on the punt, nothing on the return. The Rams take it over, leading it by 7. Rams first possession. Isaac Bruce won the battle of the
4-2. One was a third down conversion. The other one was a 5-yard touchdown. So not just making plays, but moving chains and scoring touchdowns.
Rams started with excellent field position at their own 41-yard line. Movement on the right side. Fred Miller. Fred was gone before the ball was even down.
start, 73 offense. 5 yards, repeat first down.
On Fred Miller, who had a left guard last year, got moved there right at the end of training camp because of some injuries, and was never comfortable at left guard. More natural tackle, very athletic on the outside, and has really helped protect Kurt Warner from his front side.
First and 15 now. Ball bobbled. Corey Holtz, the rookie, can't hold on to it. The first incompletion of the afternoon for Kurt Warner.
Last week, Kurt Warner was a perfect 9 for 9 in 3 touchdowns in the first quarter, and I said, can you be any more perfect than perfect? And he said, yeah, the ball.
So the Falcons, we showed you, have been in a lot of holes in the first half this season, outscored by more than 60 points. The Rams doing just the opposite, outscoring their opponents by nearly 80 in the first half alone. The shuffle pass, Marshall Falk. Out across midfield into Falcon territory down to the 46-yard line. Ray Buchanan gets him, but only after an 18-yard pickup.
Boy, they love this play. Now, they ran it 3 times last week in San Francisco. Here's the left guard, and gets out in front of Marshall Falk. And really, they double team down here. They seal the backside. Look at Marshall Falk, all that room. Now, that is a scary prospect, trying to bring Marshall Falk down in the open field. It took Pro Bowler Ray Buchanan to trip him up. Otherwise, that was a touchdown.
And Falk pointing to his hip as he went out of the game. Remember, he's playing with a hip pointer he suffered last week. That's Robert Holcomb in at tailback now. He's got nowhere to go. Ruffin Hamilton wrapped him up.
Down on defense. You can't give the Rams 5 and 6 yards and put them in situations where it's 2nd and 4. It's too dangerous. What the Falcons did on that play, they blitzed on first down. They sent Ruffin Hamilton. He disrupted the play and forced St. Louis here into a 2nd and 10.
He actually loses 2 yards on that, so it'll be 2nd and 12 from the 49. Falk back in the backfield.
Oh, now Marshall Falk is put out wide all the way down to the bottom.
Isaac Bruce was the one in the backfield. Another pressure. Kurt Warner sacked. Lester Archambault. His first time the Rams have been sacked against Atlanta. Right now, let's return to James Brown in the Fox Network Center in Los Angeles for an NFL update.
Kurt and Brian take a look at Randall. Quick out intended for Chris Carter. Terry Fair jumped that quick out. He takes it 41 yards to pay dirt. They're up 7-0. And Kurt, Terry has taken the picture of you right in front of me. I think I know what you look like. Back to Kurt and Brian.
That's okay, JB. A lot of people confuse me with Kenny Albert. 3rd and 21 for the Rams. 38. Flags are down and shows Isaac Bruce.
Orlando Pace is a little quick at left tackle.
Preliminary signal false start against the Rams.
In this division, playing in these domes, it's tough for the visiting team.
The snap, false start. 76 offense, 5 yards, repeat third down.
It's an Orlando Pace, who's been almost perfect himself this year. Just a little flinch here. Difficult to hear going up against the rookie. Lester Archambault against Rams will shut the Falcons out 3 weeks ago in that big victory, 35-10.
Warner works out of the shotgun. A little handoff to Marshall Falk, and Falk can be dangerous. Across midfield, gets the first down. Well, that was on a 3rd and 26. The Rams working some absolute magic with Marshall Falk coming out of the backfield.
Well, the Falcons played pass all the way. They only rushed 3 guys right here. That's all. Now everybody else is dropped. Now it's all Marshall Falk. Oh, in the open prairies now. I mean, very poor tackling, bad angles. Look at Isaac Bruce getting down here looking for somebody to pick off. Everybody getting in on the action. Marshall Falk off to a great start this afternoon.
30 yards on that carry on 3rd and 26. Warner got the time, scramble. Slides down at the 29-yard line. Sean Sueda laid a hit on him after he slid, and once the quarterback, you don't need to. He's down already. So that's going to be a personal foul against Atlanta.
Unnecessary roughness. Number 93 defense. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
There's Sean Sueda, who came in as a backup defensive tackle last week, had a good game, makes a boneheaded play. Because as soon as this quarterback takes the safety slide, all hands are off. And right here, I mean, you can see Sueda going right over the top. Too late. It's just too late. You got to pull off. It's the quarterback. They're protecting the quarterbacks in this league. It's the rules. Dan Reese said, hey, he didn't hit his head. Oh.
First down from the 15. Ricky Kroll in motion. That's Falk. Stops at the line of scrimmage, bounces it outside. Marshall Falk picks up 10 yards where there was nothing. Patrick Kearney on the tackle. Falk looks rejuvenated in this game, doesn't he?
Yeah, that, and I think he's like greased in Vaseline or something. Nobody can get a hand on it. When they do, it just slides right off. When right to the back, to the right guard there, Adam Timmerman, in the last 3 weeks, is ready for another breakout game. You can't keep this guy down very long in this league. He's too smooth.
Out of the eye. Falk. Making Robert Holcomb can't hold on to the ball. They say he caught it and went out of bounds. Eugene Robinson.
Well, you know, sometimes when things go bad against you, Kurt, they just go bad. This Falcons team hasn't recovered a fumble all season, and they've already knocked it loose twice here today, but they've knocked it out of bounds.
Well, the converse of that is when things are going good for you, they always go good, and that's what's happening with the Rams right now. The Rams scored in their first 4 possessions when they met the Falcons 3 weeks ago, all touchdowns. This is their second drive of the game here. They scored the first time. Movement early.
Another procedural penalty here.
False start, 76 offense. 5 yards, repeat third down.
And that's twice now on pace on this series, and Orlando, you know, he hasn't played on the road in a dome yet this season. That's Jim Hannafin, the offensive line coach, talking to Dick Vermeil. Jim Hannafin, longtime coach of the Hogs in Washington, now in St. Louis here.
Rams need to get to the 5 for the first. Warner to Falk out of the backfield. Spin free. It's going to be just short of the first down. Ruffin Hamilton gets it.
Well, Eugene Robinson had him.
It depends on where they spot this ball here. The Rams getting a very good spot.
You're going to see Eugene right here is going to come up to make this hit. Poor job of wrapping up, though. He's in the right place to make that play. Marshall Falk spun right out of it.
And he stretches out. They're going to bring out the chains and see how close he got. Rams got an excellent spot on that ball.
Robinson in the Pro Bowl last season, but not playing at that level this season. Part of it is that defensive line hasn't been giving the same rush as last year because of the injury.
You see how short they are? Robinson in his 15th year out of Colgate. A couple of Super Bowls with the Packers, last year with the...
This Rams team has been aggressive. That's their mentality early in the game. And I would expect them on 4th down to line up, toe it, and run right behind Robert Holcomb. Marshall Falk in the backfield.
Falk is in the eye. Holcomb in motion. He goes that way. Not only the first down, but the touchdown. St. Louis Rams. Marshall Falk on the 6-yard score, and the Rams score in their first 2 possessions. Here's the bob and weave.
It was the dirty bird in this arena last year, and now it's the bob and weave. You're going to see Robert Holcomb here. Nice lead block on Henri Crockett. And now Marshall Falk, all he has to do is just pick his hole. And right there, there's the steal block on the outside by Jeff Robinson. That's a walk for Falk.
Jeff Wilkins gets his second extra point of the afternoon. The Rams have been perfect in the scoring department. 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns, a 14-0 lead. Super Bowl 34 this year, or actually January of next year. Right now, the Rams have been super on their first 2 possessions, a couple of touchdowns.
Got 2 10-play drives now, both resulting in 6 points.
Jeff Wilkins to Tim Dwight. Oh, Dwight. Ball is out. And the Falcons recover. Craig Sauer with the recovery, but the big hit laid on by Charlie Clemens. Falcons will test. It's pivotal game 4 of the ALCS as Derek Jeter and the Yankees take their 2-1 series lead into Fenway Park. Andy Pettit takes them out against Brett Saberhagen beginning tonight live from Fenway, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, right here on Fox. And Andy Pettit has been brilliant in the postseason. An ERA under 1, microscopic. Brett Saberhagen, just the opposite. Let's say it that way.
And you'll be up there. You'll be up there tonight in Beantown for that game, Kurt. Double duty today.
Hey, whatever pays the bills, Baldy.
Hey, you know, talk about whatever pays the bills in double duty. Marshall Falk, as talented a receiver on the ground, too, a double threat, and they're using him that way here this afternoon.
Only 13 minutes have passed in this game. He's over the 100-yard mark in total offense. Falcons begin from their own 24. Stepped on, falls down, and officially sacked. London Fletcher touched him down, but there are penalty flags down. There was some movement going early.
Yeah, again, Kevin Carter at left end. We're having trouble getting out of this first half. Healthy, the way he's taking some hits.
Offside, 93 defense, 5 yards, repeat first down.
That's Kevin Carter, the defensive end for the Rams.
Kevin Carter's just not very fundamental here. He's listening to the count instead of looking at the ball. I mean, that's his cue, really. Look at the football, and he's listening to Chandler, and he's falling for that unrhythmic count that Chris has.
After the penalty, 1st and 5 from the 29. Oxendine deep in the eye for the Falcons. Chandler scrambles. Falls forward, close to the first down marker. Kevin Carter with the tackle. Rams leading at 14-0, getting off to a great start once again.
There's the touchdown right here. You're going to see Andy McCullum on the pull and Robert Holcomb on the kick out here, getting the running game going. McCullum pulls around and picks up the safety, Eugene Robinson. A huge hole for Marshall Falk. You drive a tractor through that one. Big John Deere tractor.
Falk playing with that injured hip. Second and short. Play clock ran out. Delay of game, Atlanta.
I'm going to argue this call.
Delay of game, offense, 5 yards. Repeat second down.
We're going to have to give Ron Blum a network TV contract. He's getting more airtime than anybody.
Yeah, and all little chippy fouls, too. I mean, that's all on Chris. Chris got to get him out of the huddle and up to the line, especially on second and short. It erases that free 5 yards they got on the offsides from Kevin Carter. And for 250.
Chandler making his first start in 3 weeks. Only the 3rd start of the season, has yet to finish a game for Atlanta. Across the middle, incomplete, intended for Oxendine, but broken up by London Fletcher.
Boy, London Fletcher's a good player. I mean, he's a free agent at a little John Carroll College, was a basketball player in college. This kid can flat out play at a high level. The run and the pass now. You're going to see Fletcher right here. He's going to have right across the field. Boy, nice left hand in on the ball. All kinds of emotion out of this guy, too. And I think there's 3 great middle linebackers in this league right now, led by Ray Lewis and Junior Seau, and the guy nobody knows yet, but will, is London Fletcher.
On 3rd down, Atlanta needs to get to the 34 for the first. Under pressure, Chandler overthrows Bob Christian on the backfield. Charlie Clemens coming hard.
Well, Charlie Clemens came right between the right guard and right tackle, and the key to all great blitzes is their timing. And Charlie right into the face of Chris Chandler, and again, another hit. You'll see Clemens taking a shot right here. Nice timing on the blitz, sneaks right through there. Nobody sees him. Chandler, boy, taking some shots early in his game. I don't know how long Chris can hold up.
He's yet to complete a pass 0 for 4 in the afternoon. Dan Straczynski back to punt to Oz Hakeem. Hakeem second in the league in punt returns. Calls for the fair catch. Makes it at about the 31-yard line. And that's going to be 14-0. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages and a word from their local station. The Falcons trailing at 14-0. Here we start the second quarter. Kurt Menefee along with Brian Baldinger and Mike Goldberg. Rams putting up big numbers on their first two possessions last week and again this week. Movement once again.
Okay, it's over, guys.
Yeah, sloppy start to this football game.
45 offense, 5 yards, repeat first down.
That's the tight end, Jeff Robinson. You could see Coach Dick Vermeil's lips say, "Come on, Jeff."
Yeah, Jeff, a converted defensive lineman, caught his first touchdown pass at tight end last week, a 22-yarder against San Francisco. And a guy that has really sacrificed his strengths for the benefit of the team and done a nice job filling in as backup tight end.
10 penalties already between these two. So it's first and 15 for the Rams. Warner. Under pressure, brought down for a sack. Greg Sauer. The second sack
with the zone blitz that time. They came with two linebackers, Ruffin Hamilton and Craig Sauer on the outside. You're going to see two guys coming from the outside, 54 and 52. Here they come right here and they're pinching. That's Marshall Falk over there, responsible for Craig Sauer. Craig, a guy that's getting his start today because of the injuries to Jesse Tuggle and Keith Brooking, taking advantage of it.
They lose 8 yards on the play. Rams, 4 receivers in the game. Out of the shotgun, Warner. Under pressure again. Slips the tackle of Ronnie Brown. Incomplete. Ray Buchanan recovered nicely that time. Flags are down.
Yeah, holding against the Rams. Falcons will probably decline this after that incompletion. He shows Kurt Warner has got some strength to him now. Able to break tackles right in the backfield.
Holding 60 offense. Penalties decline. Third down.
Isaac Bruce to get loose. Does a nice job cutting in for that football, and usually Isaac gets his hands on the ball. He usually brings it in. But precision routes by Isaac Bruce, and his key is he stays low. Sinks his hips. It's hard to get your hands on him when he's as low as he is.
Rams need to get to the 32. They give it to Marshall Falk. Makes it to the 22. Marty Carter on the tackle. And the fans, Falcons, for the first time this afternoon, stopped this Rams offense.
With blitzes, and they took some chances, and then they got excellent coverage from Ray Buchanan on the second down play. I think you're going to see more of that from the Falcons. That's the only way that they're going to be able to slow this team down. You let Kurt Warner stay back there, he'll damage it.
Falcons with 2 return men back here. Tim Dwight, one, along with Winslow Oliver, the other. Dwight fakes the reverse. Comes back the other side. Tim Dwight trips up. Boy, he almost got away on that one. The Falcons, 40 yards on the punt, 17 exciting yards on the return.
When you gotta have one, you gotta have one. And by E-Trade. It's time for E-Trade.
Back here in Atlanta with a guy Falcon fans would rather see on the field than in the booth with us. Jamal Anderson, their Pro Bowl running back, had knee surgery about 11 days ago. How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm moving around. The first week, I tell you what, I was like, I would never do this again.
But you're
in 20s again, but not this way.
Second play, first down Falcons from the 43. Chandler. Over the middle. That's the rookie tight end, Reggie Kelly, makes the grab.
Jamal, I got to ask you, you've made that cut in Dallas on Monday night a million times in AstroTurf, and it just buckled on you at that point.
Yeah, what was interesting coming out in the game, before the game, they were talking about we were expecting a little bit of rain, and I kind of had a nub bottom on, and I was telling Jesse Tuggle right before we went out, man, these shoes don't feel good, maybe I should change them, and he was the first person that came up to 1,000 times, and my foot just got caught, and I just felt smooth, and my knee burning, and I was like, he would get up and walk. I didn't think it was that bad.
Another first down for the Falcons. Ken Oxendine. spends his way out to the 25-yard line.
Certainly a big part of the success last year, Jamal, was your running game, and then really the health of the entire football team. And it just hasn't been your injury here in Atlanta. I mean, it's like you've got a curse going on right now that you're losing guys in record numbers.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I think one of the things that helped us out a lot was we didn't hear. So we were fortunate, we were blessed, and now, we got Chris going out for a couple weeks, me lost for the season, Jesse Tuggle, Brooking, everybody's going out. So we got the backups in here that, they got to play. I think they're stepping up and doing a good job so far.
Well, he's deep in the eye right now. Gets the carry. Looking like Jamal, huh?
Excellent.
Yeah, all the way down to the 13-yard line.
Yeah, I just got finished talking to Ken on the sideline before I came up here and told him about how to, keep your pad level down low and always move your feet.
What about this play right here, Jamal? What's the key right here? You're coming right behind Bob Whitfield.
Yeah, the most important thing on this tonight takes that counter step, and then he has to wait for that play to develop, wait for the blocks to come down, and then the trap to come across, and then just be patient. And as soon as the hole develops, get in there as fast as possible.
Well, he picked up 13 yards down to the 13. First down for the Falcons. Chandler to Bob Christian out of the backfield. Slips the tackle.
Yes.
Into the end zone. Touchdown Falcons.
I am biased, but this is the best fullback in the NFL. I will say that right now.
His versatility is underrated. The ability to catch the ball and then also be a lead runner.
Tremendous. And the first thing that I told Bobby and Byron Hanspard and Ken Oxendine was that if you follow Bobby Christian, if you just believe that he's going to lead you to the hole, you're going to do a great job filling in for me, because that's what Bobby does so well, and the communication that he has. And then you see when he makes the plays in the open field, catching the ball and doing the things that he does, he can make plays. Man, he's a tremendous player who used to be a 1,000-yard rusher in college.
Todd Collins, the linebacker for the Rams, is down. While they check on him, we'll take a break. Falcons get on the scoreboard, though.
Hi, yeah, I ordered a pizza about an hour ago.
Oh, I'm sorry, what's your name, sir?
David Logan? David Logan.
You're the mutual fund manager, right?
We sent that pie to
720 California.
Oh, no, that's my work address.
Well, it seems to me an emerging market manager, barely in the top 20%, would still be at work.
It's 9:30.
Not in Sri Lanka. It's time for the E-Trade Mutual Fund Center. Instant scrutiny of over 4,700 funds.
America's newest tire store has just the tires for you, and just the battery, and shocks, and service with factory-trained technicians, and competitive prices. Now get a Motorcraft-tested tough battery for $59.95. Quality care service, the right people, the right parts, and always the right prices at participating Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealers.
What's up, y'all? It's Puff Daddy. NFL under the helmet is that fast-paced explosion of cool track.
Inside handoff. He's gone.
Hard hit. An incredible catch.
Caught one-handed.
It combines the hottest music and the hottest action like no other show. Check it out.
Under the Helmet, Saturday on Fox. Jennifer Love Hewitt says goodbye.
Find what you're looking for, whatever it takes.
I love you, you know that.
An all-new Party of 5, 9/8 Central, Fox, Tuesday.
And the Falcons score here. And Jamal, talk about this play right here, the ball fake to Kenny Oxendine.
Yeah, this is the 500 series package that we like to do so often. It's something that's a combination to the runs, and when you're having success at the defensive end, and then we hit Bobby Christian shallow in the flat, and Bobby one-on-one, you always look for him to make plays like he did.
Well, he gets the touchdown. Todd Collins was injured but walked off. He's okay, and the Falcons get the extra point. That cuts the lead in half, 14-7 here in the second quarter.
Imagine living life on a grander scale. Imagine tasting water when it's brand new. Or being discover the ultimate in capability. From Ford Outfitters, offering you the most far-reaching sport utilities on earth. Ford Outfitters, no boundaries.
We have a standoff in progress at 211 Hazelwood.
He's in there.
Sir, drop the chalupa. Put it down and back away.
Sir, don't be silly. Drop the chalupa.
I said, drop the chalupa.
Put it down, man!
Yeah, drop the chalupa.
Get your hands on the new Chalupa with a shell so crispy, flaky.
Better get some backup.
Roger. Aerial coverage of today's Rams-Falcons game. The blimp typically cruises at a speed of about 35 miles an hour and an altitude of 1,200 feet. Look to the skies for the MetLife Blimp in a town near you. The action going on inside today. Falcons cut it down to 14-7. Morton Anderson kicks it off to Tony Horn. Out of his end zone. Gets some room outside. Tony Horn had a 97-yard return last week, and this touchdown return.
That's the Rams' third kick return this year. Isaac Keem had one 2 weeks ago in Cincinnati. Tony Horn last week, and Tony Horn had one against the Falcons last year as well.
Tony Horn ran one back for 102 against Atlanta last season. This is last week against the San Francisco 49ers, 97 yards.
And it came at a time in the game when that kickoff return and really knocked the 49ers out. And this week, after the Falcons go down and score, he returns that momentum back in the Rams' favor immediately.
Jeff Wilkins gets the extra point, and suddenly the lead is back to 14. St. Louis on top of Atlanta, 21-7. Jamal Anderson, they need you, brother.
Yeah, it's tough out there. And I must say, in addition to Tony Horn running that back, they have an excellent special teams coach over there, Frank Gans, who used to be over here with us.
No, it's too red. Too dark. It's going to be perfect.
You can get enough orange and blue to last a season at Lucas Paints in Denver, but bring your Visa card because they don't take American Express. Visa is everywhere NFL fans want to be.
America's newest tire store has just the tires and one-stop service with factory-trained technicians and competitive prices. Now get brake service for $89.95 or less installed. Quality care service, the right people, the right parts, and always the right prices at participating Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealers.
Hi, I'm Keith Lyles of the St. Louis Rams. Here, my teammates and I do a lot more than just play football. Here in St. Louis, we work with a special group of United Way volunteers tutoring children throughout the community. It's called the Y Read Tutoring Program. They're working to help children's needs and family values. The NFL, United Way, and you, the power of teamwork.
A 19-year-old cop is put to the test.
Where were you when I needed real help?
An all-new Ryan Caulfield, Friday at 8 on Fox.
Special teams coach of the Rams, Frank Gans, working his magic, getting the touchdown there. You know all about him, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. Frank Gans was with us, assistant head coach with us for a number of years. Nickname, a.k.a. is Crash, because he was very intense, not only in his teaching and the method, so you know the Rams are going to have the special teams ready to go every time.
Jeff Wilkins with the kickoff. Tim Dwight gets the receive for Atlanta in his end zone. And he breaks it outside. Tim Dwight tries to tap dance down the sideline, but pushed out of bounds. Ray Bly knocks him out after a 37-yard kickoff return. The Rams, the only team in the league this season with a punt return for a touchdown.
Another thing you can see down here is something that Frank preaches a lot is everybody going to the next level. You see a lot of Rams defenders running down there, picking off Morton Anderson and picking off some of our other players who have a chance to stop the play, and that's something that Frank talks about all the time.
And, of course, Dexter McCleon in there trying to help out with the bob and weave is the new dance right now, Jamal. I hate to get rid of the dirty bird so quickly right now, but...
First and 10 from the 35. Oxendine wrapped up in the backfield. Jamal, a couple of weeks ago,
well, it was I just had tore the ACL in my knee, and so it was about 5 days removed from that. We had the Monday night game, and so it was tough for me. It wasn't even the situation where Dan asked me that I want to go at all. It was like, hey, rest your knee. You got to do the things that you need to do to rehabilitate your knee so you can go back and have a successful surgery. So it wasn't even in consideration me traveling, and so it was very, very frustrating for me and upsetting for me to hear people even mention the fact that why wasn't I there when I'm trying to take care of, obviously things that I need to take care of, a season-ending injury. So, but it's tough to sit here and watch the games when you can't go out and contribute.
One last question here. You know, in preseason, you had a contract dispute. You missed most of camp, and Dan Reeves had made some kind of insinuation that perhaps your injury was due to the fact that you didn't get the hitting that you would normally do during training camp, and I think that probably upset you. What did you do?
Well, yeah, it definitely. I think it actually hit more home. You know, my mother and my father and my family was upset a little bit, and I know, and I tried to tell them that it wasn't a situation where I think Dan was trying to take a shot at me for staying out. I held out for a couple weeks in camp. It was more or less a situation where he was emotional. He was upset.
Terrence Mathis with a 16-yard catch on 3rd and 14. Falcons get the first down. Chris Chandler a little bit slow getting up.
But Chris Chandler is a warrior. He steered in and took a hit here. Terrence Mathis right here working on the outside against Tajee Allen. Key 3rd down. Nice conversion there. But Chandler taking another shot, and he's taken a bunch already here today. He said the thing that was going to bother him most is if he had to step up in that pocket.
That tailback for left. He gets his first carry of the afternoon. Stopped after a short 2-yard pickup. DeMarco Farr on the tackle.
I think one of the only ways you can alleviate the quarterback getting hit, in addition to, you know, picking up the blitz and trying to get guys that are falling off, is just running the ball. And the more success we have running the ball, the healthier that Chris will be, the less amount of hits that he'll have to take. So it's going to be important for us to continue to try to run the ball with some success and then try to pick as many people up as we can, because obviously the Rams are gunning to get Chris out of here.
They have you for the rest of the season until they make do with Byron Hanspard right now on 2nd and 6. Chandler, once again, this is the second time this has happened. Someone stepped on the offensive line, and he goes down. Jamal, thanks a lot. We appreciate it. Good luck to you. Get healthy. We look forward to seeing you next season.
Oh, yeah. The excitement and the dance will be back. Don't worry.
You going to bring a new version of it, or is it going to be the repeat?
I don't know. I mean, I'm just going to be so excited to get back out there again. I'm just going to be looking forward to being out.
In this football team and in the National Football League.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jamal. Falcons on 3rd and 12. They need to get to the Rams' 42-yard line for the first. Chandler with time. Terrence Mathis. Nice spin move. Terrence Mathis down on the 22-yard line, a gain of 25 yards. Flags are down, and it's going to
create some excitement in here. They're doing something to take it away. Chandler had a lot of time to find Terrence Mathis down the field. Those are the things that just kill you. I mean, it was one thing overcoming the kickoff return.
In the offense, 10 yards, repeat 3rd down.
That's Bob Whitfield, the big left tackle.
They're going to have Bob right here, Pro Bowler a year ago, and working on Charlie Clemens on the outside, and Clemens jumps around, beat him. But it was the angle that he went down and Charlie Clemens went down. It looked like he pulled him down. It was just really a perception more than a reality there.
Atlanta basically loses 43 yards on that play after the penalty. They still need the Rams 42 for the first. Incomplete in the direction of Bob Christian. Mike Jones, the linebacker, on the coverage. Falcons fail to convert.
Everybody's booing the stadium about that particular one coverage, and if he can catch this ball, watch how much room Bob Christian has to run with this ball if he catches it. All these guys are sailing downfield. He's got one-on-one right now with the linebacker, Mike Jones. There's a lot of room to run in here.
Dan Straczynski's punt. Oz Hakeem lets it bounce. Falcons down it inside the 20. Keep in mind that that's the Denver Broncos, or some of you will see the Panthers take on the Niners. It's all coming up next right here on Fox.
Well, I tell you, Brett Favre has been like the Houdini this year. You get to the last minute of the game and you give him the ball, you give him too much time regardless how much time is on that clock. They're 3 wins, all last-minute comebacks.
He's like the former Magic Man for the Packers. Don Mikowski used to pull a lot of games out at the end. He's a little bit more. This is about the only time you hear him compared to Don Mikowski.
Well, look,
I will admit.
Yeah. Let me tell you. Brett
Warner to Falk out of the backfield. Playing a little leapfrog there. Henri Crockett with the tackle, 5 yards on the pickup.
Any kind of way they can get the ball to Marshall Falk is productive. That time it was just on the screen. It was a delayed screen. As the Falcons read this play pretty well, you see Kurt Warner take a deeper drop than he wants to, just trying to buy a little bit of time. Let his line, little low hurdle, jump right over a player.
Isaac Bruce in motion. Falk across the 30-yard line. Brought down by Eugene Robinson, 8 yards. Marshall Falk grinding it out for the Rams today.
That's kind of interesting on that play. Now, Marshall Falk goes over the left side behind Orlando Pace for 8, but they ran Isaac Bruce in motion this time. And for the first time today, Ray Buchanan doesn't run with Isaac, will come back with the fake to Marshall Falk and throw the ball to Isaac Bruce on the outside.
Play action. Warner, complete over the middle. Roland Williams. That's Roland Williams' first catch since the second week of the season, the big tight end out of Syracuse.
But last week, Kurt Warner found 8 different receivers. The 2 weeks prior to that, 7 different receivers in both games. And here to Roland Williams. And look at the protection. Your knee surgery of a year ago, and that's going to be another weapon of theirs when he gets healthy.
He gets 16 yards on the reception. Marshall Falk through a hole. Caught from behind by Marty Carter. Marshall Falk, 18 more.
Well, if you're the Atlanta Falcons, what do? Do you gang up on the pass rush and go after Kurt Warner, or do you stay back and play run? And right now, they're just guessing wrong. And you got to give credit to the offensive line because these 2 defensive tackles are pretty good football players. Travis Hall and Shane Tremaine coach Bill Kohler. Surprisingly, a little quiet right there.
First down from the 32. Robert Holcomb. Ball is out. Chuck Smith. The Falcons defensive end grabs it, forces the fumble, recovers it, and Atlanta has the ball in St. Louis territory. The Falcons' first fumble recovery all season long.
Give credit to Smith. Chuck Smith right over here. Playing with bad turf toe all season, missed most of training camp. Stays alive with that ball. Actually pulled that ball out of Robert Holcomb's hand. This ball is just, just the effort right there. I said, watching the Atlanta Falcons last week, that this team was trying too hard to try and force turnovers.
Running the ball, he's got 2 touchdowns in his NFL career. So the Falcons take over at the 47. Oxendine deep in the eye behind Christian. Chandler to the air. Oh, what a catch! Terrence Mathis.
I tell you, it helps having Chris Chandler back.
20 yards on the reception.
Boy, great job by the offensive line up front. Watch Gene Williams now. Boy, I tell you, Chris Chandler has a lot of confidence himself. That's a gutsy throw into double coverage, but it was beautiful.
Chandler changing the play at the line of scrimmage. To the air again. Chris Callaway, the former Giant.
Callaway in motion on that play. Callaway brought in this year to try and replace Tony Martin, who had into that opening in the defense. Chris Chandler read it perfectly, and that's the experience of Chris Chandler, knowing where to go with the ball and then throwing it accurately to get it in.
Callaway at the bottom of your screen. Terrence Mathis on top. To Mathis. Down to the 10-yard line. A gain of 8 and another first down for Atlanta. It gets us to the 2-minute warning. The Falcons are marching. 2-minute warning. Trailing it by...
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Budweiser. Delivered fresh daily from our local brewery near you.
Last play, right guard Gene Williams tripped over a shoelace that was untied. Saw him tying it during the timeout.
Falcons trying to turn the turnover into points. First and goal from the 9. Denver. Ball is up in the air and intercepted. Grant Wistrom. And he's is gone.
Look at that.
Big defensive end out of Nebraska in his second year. 92 yards on the interception return.
Two great blocks by the linebacker. Chandler hit on the play.
Between Grant Wistrom and Chuck Smith, who needs running backs and receivers, huh?
He looks like he could be another defensive end converted to fullback. Here's the play right here. Gene Williams gets beat, allows pressure on Chris Chandler. Now that ball's in the air. Look at Wistrom go up for that ball. Up for the jump ball, and now the race on. London Fletcher's got a block right there.
Nothing but net. The Rams on top 28-7. Out to another fast start against Atlanta.
First defensive points for the Rams this season. First touchdown for Wistrom. Now you see some blocks down the field here. Now it's offense. Now the defense gets to go lay some blocks. Look at that one right there by Mike Jones. Laying out Chris Callaway, and what you don't see is London Fletcher putting another block, and Todd Light hit the safety valve into the end zone. We see, these returners run plays back for touchdowns, and they immediately go to the oxygen. Grant Wistrom has no problem with his conditioning.
Officially, it's a 91-yard return. That's the third longest interception return in the 62-year history of the Rams franchise.
The sixth pick in the draft out of Nebraska last year. You see Bobby Christian going for the oxygen. Grant Wistrom, who ran the whole distance, no oxygen. But Wistrom, who's been a real key here in developing in this young Rams team, guy in great athletic ability.
The Rams 4 touchdowns today, 1 on a pass reception, 1 on a run, 1 on the special teams return, and now 1 by the defense. Total team effort here for them this afternoon. Tim Dwight from his 3. He's brought down, flagged down as well. Devin Bush, the former Falcon, with the tackle.
This play is going to come back again.
The players disagreeing with that call, I think. I'm not quite sure. I think they are.
That sounds like disagreeing to me. But it always is, when you're the guilty guy.
In the back above the waist, 54 the receiving team. 10 yards, first down.
That's Ruffin Hamilton. Sunday, November 7th, the wait is over. The fall's biggest event is coming for you. Don't miss the most anticipated premiere of the new season. It's the X-Files, Sunday, November 7th, right here on Fox. Sully trying to help him here. Down 28-7.
He was saying, we got to stop thinking that Jamal's going to come back and that Martin is going to be here. Sometimes you think that the ghosts are still there. And you fall into that trap. He goes, I got to stop thinking like Tony Martin is going to appear in my offense.
Falcons begin from their own 12 after the penalty. First down. Chandler. Complete over the middle. Tim Dwight. Close to the first down. We talked to all those major categories, special teams, offense, and defense.
And they'll probably still lead the NFL in kick returns again after this week with Tony Horn's 102-yard shot.
Timeout on the field. Called by the Rams. Don't forget, coming up, it's the Visa halftime report. JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris will have all the highlights and scores from around the league.
Plus, I'll point you, now 5 weeks in a row, there's some highlights to show from this football team. And what everybody's realizing is, the offense has been explosive and has assaulted teams, but this defense, led by a number of free agents, have been able to apply pressure to Chris Chandler today, been able to make some plays now. Chris Chandler has taken some shots today. Able to get out of the pocket right there. Trucked by Billy Jenkins to safety.
Chandler. Oxendine. Ken Oxendine. Out to the 45-yard line. A gain of 23. Falcons call timeout.
Chris Chandler is less than 100%. He's been knocked silly today. That hamstring is burning. He can still beat you, though. Look at him. And And you know, he pulled the hamstring, Kurt, right in preseason. It bothered him for a couple of weeks. He's missed some games, and he's never pulled a hamstring before. And if you've never gone through that, Sonny, and it's fatiguing on him right now.
Well, he hurt himself in the preseason, tried to fight through it, came back, started week 1 right here against the Minnesota Vikings. Almost made it through that game, but the hamstring here, this is when he initially re-injured it. Sat out the next week against the Dallas Cowboys, tried to come back week 3 against the St. Louis Rams, scrambling, couldn't finish that game, and today is the first time he has played since then.
We saw him step up into the pocket, and that explosive step to try to beat those rushers from the outside is what gives him the most trouble. And finish a game for the Falcons this season.
They have it first down from their own 45. Chandler under pressure again, gets it off. Tim Dwight makes the catch. Pushed out of bounds by Todd White. What an adjustment made by Tim Dwight on that one.
Chris Chandler is in the X-File. And he doesn't even have a chance to celebrate because he never saw it because he got whacked by Grant Wistrom right here coming around the horn from adjusting by Tim Dwight. And sometimes if you can't beat a corner straight down the field, the best thing to do is underthrow the football because the receiver is looking at the ball the whole way and the defensive back is reacting and doesn't get a chance to look at it like that.
Just right, second catch of the season, 46 yards on the reception. First and goal from the 9. Chandler gets it off to the tight end, Reggie Kelly. Gets it down inside the 5.
And he's an experienced guy. He's just trying to survive in between plays. You got to have a mass shooter on the sideline for him right now. A nice job, though, of reading the defense, delivering his ball on timing. He's looking around right now going, what, nobody hit me on that play?
He's not used to that, huh?
Yeah.
I think he may be suffering more from the flu. If you look at him, he looks like he's just tired. It's not the hamstring so much. He needs to get him some fluids at halftime.
We saw him on Friday, and he had a case of the sniffles. Quarter for Chris, just trying to find a rhythm after missing the last 2 weeks. What he's found it now, the interception was crazy. I mean, that ball just got tipped, and as he got hit, really wasn't Chris's fault. Give him credit for bouncing right back here and taking the team down the field, putting him in a position here to maybe get a little momentum going in right before the half.
Falcons have it at the 2-yard line. Second and goal to go. Bob Christian alone in the backfield. Flag on the play. Chandler really wanted one there.
But Billy Jenkins, the safety covering Santiago, almost pulled him down in that pass route. The fans are reacting to it because it sure looked like there was some interference on it. You see Billy Jenkins right here. He's got the left hand on him. Now he gets both. Didn't have the left hand slowing him down. Not a bad target down on the 2-yard line. Mathis, this is his territory right here.
Here comes the blitz. Chandler gets it off. Incomplete, thrown high for Mathis. You call the right guy, just didn't get it in the right spot.
He had 11 touchdown catches last year, most of them in the red zone coming from the slot like he was on that play.
And the Falcons going to kick. Crowd here not happy that they're going for the field goal on 4th down and 2.
Chandler's under pressure. He knows he has to get this ball off. He's got drilled.
Morton Anderson on for the kick. Missed his first 4 this season, but has made all 4 since then. 4 of 8 officially on the season.
Flag just thrown in the end zone right now during this delay.
Prior to the delay game, timeout, Atlanta. Their third and final charge team timeout. This is a 30-second timeout.
Falcons on the verge of getting called for a delay of game penalty, so they call their final timeout. The flag is then picked up.
At this stage, and you have a shot to go for a touchdown, I think you take the shot right here, Kurt, even though it's 4th down.
I agree. The way this Rams offense could put up points, 3 points, doesn't do you a lot of good against these guys.
I think you got to match touchdowns with this Rams team.
Coming up on the Visa halftime report, JB, Terry, and Howie, and Chris will have all the scores and highlights from around the league. And the Fox Sports Ticker will have up to the second stats, all on the Visa halftime report. So a 19-yard field goal attempt by Morton Anderson. Crowd still not happy. They get 3 points, it's not enough. They wanted more. But the Falcons get a little bit closer, trailing at 28-10. All right, you know, I got to go to the Red Sox-Yankee game after this, Baldy. The best way to travel, I figured out. Forget this airport stuff.
Yeah, you're probably by blimp.
Amen to that, brother. You don't need to check baggage. You don't need to get in line or anything. This is the MetLife blimp. That's Stone Mountain, which is the largest piece of exposed granite in the world. Did you know that?
There's no way you knew that before searching the internet today.
Arms out and push. As you go along, it goes maybe 56 miles an hour, and that'll get you there between now and Christmas. So.
Well, I think that you got a nice view there today, Kurt. Looks like a beautiful day to travel. You'll be able to check some football out on the way going up the East Coast.
Hey, catch the doubleheader game here on Fox, Green Bay at Denver. The second game, and then a little baseball for you tonight. The aforementioned Yankees at Red Sox, Game 4 of the American League Championship Series.
Morton Anderson.
He kicks it off here. Tony Horn. Deep to receive, but they're not going to kick it to him. That's your favorite guy, London Fletcher. He just takes it and runs out of bounds.
Just flipped it to the replay camera. Yeah, I like, look at that smile of London Fletcher. That's how he plays the game. The kid is having an absolute blast out there on the field. And really, he personifies this Dick Vermeil team because he was just a free agent. You know, a little guy, but huge heart, and knows how to play the game, plays with great leverage, able to get underneath pads, and their leading tackler this year on this team.
Vermeil always has like those kind of guys. Rams just going to down the ball and go into the halftime with the 18-point lead. Very satisfied. They've got the scores from the offense, from the defense, and the special teams, leading it 28-10. Isaac Bruce has caught a touchdown. Marshall Falk has run for one. Tony 1 yard, and that's how they got the 28-10 lead. That's the score at halftime. Fox NFL Sunday will continue with a Visa halftime report after this local message.
Yeah, they did a good job of moving the football. They just made mistakes that hurt them at a couple times this game.
That's Tim Dwight from his own 6. Oh, what a hit. Tim Dwight, 14 yards on the kickoff return first half, where they started to come back in the second quarter. Checking out the tote board, they're in this game statistically, but obviously not on the scoreboard.
Well, we said at the outset the Falcons have to run the ball, but when you're down 14-0, you know, you have to kind of scrap the game plan. You know, on the other side right here, Kurt Warner looking almost pedestrian in the first half, although those first 2 drives he made some key plays to keep them moving, and certainly you have to honor the defense of this Rams team and then the special teams. You can't blink, you can't go to sleep, they'll burn you.
Goes to the air to start the second. Nowhere to go, brought down for the sack. Ray Agnew and Grant Wistrom.
Chris knows he held on to that ball just too long, trying to make a play.
Down on the sideline, and Mike Goldberg.
Well, thank you, Kurt. At the half, you have talked a lot about Chris Chandler and his battle with the flu. He was offered by the Falcons doctors the opportunity to take an IV. He turned it down. It seems that he is going to play of his football team in the second quarter, saying after those opening possessions, they carried the ball, and they did with the opportunistic score back upstairs.
Thanks a lot, Mike. Defense really keeping the Rams ahead in this game. There's the ball is out once again, and the defense makes another play for the Rams. Kevin Carter recovers the fumble. There's a penalty flag down.
Ken Oxendine, who fumbled 2 times last week, losing one of the fumbles, guilty again today. And I think Dan Reeves is real nervous about having Ken
Lewis, and he was down by contact at the 7-yard line, first down.
Rams take it over from there.
See right here. That's DeMarco Farr, the left defensive tackle right here, knocking that ball loose, and his compadre Kevin Carter scooping it up on a good athletic move. But here's Farr, who caused the interception that Grant Wistrom returned for touchdown, now causes the fumble. Ken Oxendine just careless with that of the game.
Falk in the first half, 11 carries, 109 yards, averaging just about 10 yards a pop.
Well, you know, this Falcons team has been hurt all year by turnovers. They came in today second worst in the league with the -9. And that certainly continues when you lay the ball on the ground deep in your own territory. It's one thing to fumble, but then when the defense has to come out and defend, you know, only 8 corner checking the play.
To the air he goes. Pettit hit him right in the numbers, and it popped right back out. I thought he had a touchdown there.
So did Kurt Warner. He put it right in the breadbasket. You're going to see working against Michael Booker right here, the rookie. Nice job. Watch him use his body to screen himself. Oh, that's a nice play by Booker.
Exactly. Good hand.
Yeah. Warner threw it to the spot. Mike Booker, though, left hand, blind, had the hand in the right position.
From the 4. Warner to the tight end, Roland Williams picks up a yard, but Elijah Williams gets it.
That's a nice job by the defense of Atlanta there, keeping this explosive Rams team out of the end zone. See Isaac Bruce in motion right here, and underneath to get the tight end. Roland Williams, second catch today, but nice play by Egan.
That's his 4th. He's 4 for 4 on kicks, but this Rams offense so explosive he doesn't get much of an opportunity. Takes advantage when he does and gives the Rams the first 3 points of the second half. They lead it 31-10. Jeff Wilkins set the kickoff for the Rams. They've got that 21-point lead back here early in the third quarter. Run is 1. 26 yards on the return. Chris Chandler, the Falcons quarterback, battling the flu today, walking off. Headed to the team's locker room.
I mean, really a valiant effort in the second quarter, just fighting through it. But he didn't feel good coming into today's game, and I think the hits that he's taking combined with the temperature. Graziani all smiles coming in. Last week, Tony Gassel player in his 3rd year last week.
So Graziani's the quarterback from the 27. Play action. To the air right away. He's got time, but can't find anyone. He throws it incomplete. Tonight, Game 4 of the ALCS. Nomar Garciaparra and the Red Sox hosting Derek Jeter and the Yankees. The Red Sox looking to even things up. Andy Pettit taking the mound against Brett Saberhagen. The action all begins tonight live from historic Fenway. Pettit is a guy that a lot of people wanted traded from the Yankees in midseason, including the owner George Steinbrenner, but his manager Joe Torre stuck with him, and he has paid off in the postseason so far. Tony Graziani calls timeout. Something certainly not to his liking. Falcons take a timeout to show the lead. St. Louis leads at 31-10. Back Chris Chandler, maybe we should say rough half of an afternoon.
Well, you know, you come in and you're feeling a little under the weather to begin with, and then you start getting hit like this. You start getting woozy and nauseous. That last hit right there by Ray Agnew, I think, really finished Chris off. And Chris doesn't have to prove his mettle or toughness to anybody in this league.
Tim Dwight on the reverse. Gets it around the end. Stopped shy of the first down by pressure he was under.
He took a lot of hits out there today, and I don't know, how many times you got to get hit before it starts registering within you. But certainly Chris in his 12th year, I mean, he played on some bad football teams. That stuff starts to accumulate after a while. I mean, he was with the Rams in '94 when they weren't very good. Had a lot of afternoons just like this.
3rd and 1 for the Falcons. Dwight, the wide receiver, back in the eye in the backfield.
Last week, they had 3 or 4 chances at 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1 to convert, and they weren't able to do it. I mean, you got the guy running the ball that you want, Bobby Christian, but this offensive line has to get some push. You saw DeMarco Farr here. Nice job of just pressuring. From here, Kurt, I mean, it looks like it's a sure 4th down. I mean, they're not even going to measure this. And the Falcons are going to go for it.
Why not? Down by 21 points. This one's going to be close as well. Brant Wistrom on the tackle.
Ran right behind their Pro Bowler, Bob Whitfield, at left tackle. Whitfield, a guy who came in today looking for some revenge. He was tossed out of the first meeting. Was that a frustration?
And they got it.
Yeah.
Falcons get the first down on the 1-yard plunge behind Bob.
Bob Whitfield's a big body. And all he did was just sort of wedge himself in the natural crease between the defensive tackle and end. Christian found the spot.
Falcons have it first down from the 38. Play action. Graziani. Wobbling, intercepted. Billy Jenkins. And the Rams interception of the season. Picks up here.
It's a bad ball here. Came in trying to rub it in a little bit, and Graziani doesn't want any part of it. All right, just get out of here. And nobody more frustrated than Dan Reeves, last year's Coach of the Year.
Love in the afternoon, huh? Rams from the 49. Marshall Faulk into Falcon territory. Let's send it out to Los Angeles and JB for an update on that Lions-Vikings game.
Kurt and Brian, Atlanta fans remember this guy, Jeff George, in the second to make that the second half, replacing the ineffective Minnesota back in it, trailing by just 5. Back to Kurt and Brian.
Not a bad target right there anymore. It's kind of interesting. Jeff George came in and took over for Chris Chandler when Chandler was young in his days in Indianapolis. Drafted Jeff George and sent Chris on his way to Tampa Bay.
Robert Holcomb picks up a yard. Shouldn't be good enough for the first down. Craig Sauer with the tackle, but all kinds of frustration for the Falcons today. This could go wrong this afternoon. He's come in relief of Chris Chandler.
Well, you know, the frustration is building up in this football team. A team that came in with all kinds of promise from a year ago. You see Jesse Tuggle over here. I think the big thing that's happened is you see Jesse without pads on is the injuries. I mean, this is still a good football team, but when you lose Jamal Anderson and Jesse Tuggle, Keith Brooking, their leading tackler, you lose Tony Martin to free agency, you lose a lot of key weapons from a team that flies proudly the NFC Championship banner
by injuries this year. The top 4 runners from the National Football League last year, especially when you throw in Barry Sanders, all out this season, and that's made a big difference.
And it makes for a lot of long faces on that Falcon sideline, and that's the chance. I mean, that's what everybody's trying to knock off in the NFC.
Warner on first down. Pump fake. He takes the tackle and gets rid of it. Leaving his case that he had a receiver over there so he doesn't get an intentional grounding penalty.
Well, Kurt Warner, guy said that he's like a statue in the pocket, doesn't move. A great job of just staying in and getting rid of this football with all kinds of arms and legs and hot breath all around him. You can actually feel that hot breath from some of these defensive linemen coming after him.
Only 85 yards passing today. The Falcons defense doing a good job of keeping him in check. They haven't kept Marshall Faulk.
It's been building. I mean, there was a lot of jawing going on the last game when Bob Whitfield was tossed, and the Falcons, who are a pretty proud group, came in upset today because the Falcons, after they beat the Rams after they beat the 49ers last week, said, well, we beat the best in the division last week. And they forgot all about what the Falcons accomplished last year. It doesn't sit well with these dirty birds.
They also felt the Rams with time. Isaac Bruce, that's his first reception since the first drive of the afternoon. Ray Buchanan on the coverage.
They changed their coverage on that play. Didn't put Ray Buchanan on him that time. You're going to see right here, Elijah Williams runs with Isaac Bruce, and watch how many guys pick up Bruce coming across the middle. It took a long time for him to clear. Give time, you know, and what Isaac Bruce says after he catches the ball like that is Mando Pace and company.
Jeff Wilkins on for a 49-yard field goal. His longest season is 51. So no surprise that he makes this one. The Rams only have a couple of field goals here, but they keep stretching out the lead in the third quarter.
Tom, your one connection to the world. By KFC, home of the new tender roast sandwich. At KFC, we do chicken right in a bucket and now on a bun. And by Gateway. Gateway speaks to 50,000 people a day. Connect with us.
Brian Baldinger and Mike Goldberg with you from Atlanta. Jeff Wilkins kicking off. Tim Dwight is the deep man for the Falcons. Changes direction, flags down. Dwight got out to the 35-yard line before being brought down by Mike Morton, but we've got to sort this one out, holding against Atlanta once again.
I saw the former Ram down there, Gerald McBurrows. Looked like he just threw somebody to the ground using his hands. And
10 yards, first down.
That's Gerald McBurrows, and right in the middle of that, putting the Falcons in bad field position.
Next week, the Fox NFL Sunday pregame show will be live from Texas Stadium in Dallas. An NFC East battle when the Redskins clash with the Cowboys, plus other regional action. Coverage begins at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, right here on Fox in the 4 o'clock game Eastern Time. Green Bay at San Diego. We'll be at that one.
Yeah, hopefully we get the same kind of nice weather out the
Flip. Snoopy 1 certainly having a good time. Perfect day to fly. It's under the command of Captains Marty Chandler and Brian Comer, with help from co-pilot Snoopy, of course. The MetLife Flip, Snoopy 1 and Snoopy 2 travel approximately 200 days a year, visiting towns and cities throughout the U.S. and Canada. Look for the MetLife Flimps as they continue to cover sporting events into the next century.
Looking forward to seeing Junior Seau meet Brett Favre next week.
And they will meet quite often, something tells me. Graziani, complete.
One of the matchups that Chris Chandler coming in today was worried about was defensive end Kevin Carter, who's playing at clearly a Pro Bowl level. Working on Ephraim Salaam right here and really taking Salaam right back into the quarterback's lap. Pretty good battle going on right there. Big on big. But Carter is just so quick and powerful against the run and the pass.
Falcons 2 tight ends in. Kozlowski, one of them in motion. Byron Hanspard.
Against New Orleans, he came in the fourth quarter and ran the ball 6 plays in a row, and they got a field goal out of it, the winning field goal, and that's how they want to use Byron Hanspard. Still trying to return to health from a major knee surgery last year.
Kind of a change of pace back from Oxendine, who's the starter now.
That's right.
After the 2-yard gain, 2nd and 8. Our referee, Ron Blum, has had a very busy afternoon.
False start, 81 offense, 5 yards, repeat 2nd down.
That's the wide receiver, Terrence Mathis. Atlanta with 8 penalties in this ball game.
Yeah, going out there is London Fletcher. I mean, really has become the heart and soul of this defense in the middle. Sideline to sideline, and then on special teams as well. He plays about 80 or 85 snaps a game. Rarely comes off the field, except on 2nd and 3rd.
To Hanspard out of the backfield. Up the sideline. Little running room. Makes a move past Billy Jenkins. Out to the 44-yard line before Keith Lyle gets him. A pickup of 23.
Great execution by the Falcons. First of all, on the setup, buying time. Watch Graziani buy some time right here and watch the offensive line and fight the defensive players upfield. Now they got up in front. Good block right here by Bob Howland on the outside, picking up the linebacker
from last year, but shows flashes every now and then of returning to form. Graziani to the air again. Out of bounds, incomplete. Callaway, his nearest receiver. Todd Light had him covered well, though.
Yeah, Todd Light just threw a blanket on top of Chris Callaway, and another guy that's really playing maybe the best season he's ever had. 9 years in this league, a lot of frustration in St. Louis, but certainly a guy that, when you talk about some of the great corners in this league, Todd Light has to come to mind. They're in the open field.
Chris Callaway in motion on 2nd down. Graziani hit hard, incomplete. Jay Williams all over Tony Graziani as he got rid of that one.
And these Falcon quarterbacks are paying a price, and a lot of this is the game circumstances. When you're behind like they are, down 3 touchdowns, you know, they got to put the ball in the air. You see Jay Williams just coming right inside here, 10 pounds like that. Rubbing that shoulder right into the turf, getting your dosage of AstroTurf for the day.
Falcons need to get to the Rams, 48 for the first. Under pressure again. Graziani almost picked off. Billy Jenkins came close to getting his 2nd pick of the afternoon.
Well, and Billy Jenkins has some radar on Graziani. Charlie Clemens came on the blitz. Mr. Graziani clears all the soup and all the mess, and he throws a real bad pass.
The big left tackle Bob Whitfield lifting off the field. Certainly can't afford to lose him this afternoon. Dan Straczynski, master of the hang time. Back to Oz Zahir Hakim. Booming one's going to be a fair catch from Hakim. Because no one knew where to go.
It looked like it was going to be on 1st down, and Roland Williams, the tight end, jumped. They heard somebody say something. Over there. Holy hell! Might not have been his quarterback.
45 offense, 5 yards, repeat 1st down.
Earlier Earlier in the game, we saw linebacker Todd Collins go out. Down to the field, our Mike Goldberg has an update on his situation.
Well, Kurt, Todd Collins is done for the afternoon. He has been possible that he could still return, but I asked both of you guys, is it worth the risk of his hamstring in a game in which the Falcons trail by 24?
Good question, Baldy. Would you bring him back if you're the Falcons down 24 points in the third?
I would leave Chris out at this point right now. I mean, he took some shots. He's going to take some more shots. You know, the Rams right now are thinking about sacks. There's blood in the water. They're going to go after him. I leave Graziani a little bit more mobile in there right now.
And it's also another chance for Graziani just to get a little bit more experience.
You know, we know we're a better football team. We really, you know, we don't get experience at 3 and outs, but sometimes we do with the young, struggling quarterback.
Rams continue to put up points. First time in 12 years they've scored 30 or more in 4 straight. Marshall Falk stopped this time. Shane Dronette. Bad hand and all, bad calf. He showed us his leg the other day. Yeah. It looked like part of his calf is actually missing from where it's strained.
Against the left guard, Andy McCullum. There's Shane Dronette on the tackle.
That ball is out.
Yeah, nobody even knows it. You know, that's kind of like what the Falcons have been like this year, trying to recover fumbles. The ball's been on the ground. They haven't been on top of it.
The Rams hold on to it. They need to get to the 34-yard line for the first. Warren goes that way, incomplete.
Take a look. No knees on the ground, and I don't know, right here. I mean, that might be a call that you might want to review, Kurt. There's so little time, it's too late. Once that next play goes, it's too late to take a look at it. I think the defense has played pretty well out here today. Really, just a 2 opening drives where they gave up touchdowns. Other than that,
they settled down since then. Falcons get a chance on the return. Winslow Oliver picks it up. He doesn't get far. Tony Horn, who had the 101-yard kick return, making the tackle. Yes, the Red Sox look to even up the series against the Yankees. Game time, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, right here on Fox. From historic Fenway Park, Andy Pettit going against Brett Saberhagen for the Yankees and Red Sox.
Boy, what an effort by Pedro Martinez yesterday. I mean, just mowed him down.
12 strikeouts in this game yesterday, and Roger Clemens, the former Red Sox, came in and basically got shelled in 2 innings.
Well, they were ready for the return of the Rockets.
Rob Christian out of the backfield gets knocked out. The St. Louis Rams just had a 3 and out, and I know you like to call the 3 and out strikeout. Right. They haven't had many of those this season.
No, you know, three and out to me is a strikeout, and really this season, you know, you can tell that, you know, their defense has forced a lot of those this year so far. I mean, 14 Ks right here, where they get that offense off the field and give the ball back to their offense so they can go hit some Sammy Sosa-like home run.
They can't complete the pass. Chris Callaway tries to haul it in.
And in fact, Dick Vermeil told us, he said, our offense, you know, we use the Mark McGwire metaphor and analogy to describe our offense. We want to hit home runs, and they have. Although today, you know, to give the Falcons credit, they've shut down the long bomb.
Well, the Rams actually had Stan Musial come out this week to practice and talk to them, and he said he likes the team chemistry that he sees with this team. And so obviously you compare their stats to baseball, they get motivational success in class. 3rd and 3 for the Falcons. Complete Terrence Mathis, but he's going to be short of the first down. Back to Los Angeles, James Brown. Give us an NFL update, JB.
Kurt and Brian, Minnesota had trailed 19-0 to the Lions here. Leroy Horde takes it over after a sensational catch by Jake Reed. Sets it up. Minnesota now on top 20-19. Jeff George getting it done in the third. Kurt and Brian.
Is a guy that looks like he's comfortable with that role. And anybody that's been around Jeff, and I played with him in Indianapolis, and that is a golden touch. And he has the ability to ignite an offense.
The problem is he has an ability to ignite his teammates often and wears out his welcome in a lot of locker rooms. That's why he's bounced around with so many teams.
Get some coaches fired as well.
Dick Vermeil not happy with the spot.
Jeff George was down in Atlanta. Had the blow up with June Jones here a couple of years ago.
Right on the sideline.
Yeah. 3rd and a foot.
1st and 10 from their own 47. Hands fired. Jay Williams just engaged in a block with O.J. Santiago, gets credit for a tackle.
Well, they're playing a lot of backup defensive linemen right now. Jay Williams coming in for Kevin Carter, giving him a spell, and You think that he's the Pro Bowler over there right now. You see Jay Williams right here in Kevin Carter's spot working against the tight end. Now gets the win for Jay Williams.
3-yard loss on the play.
42.
Graziani going deep for Tim Dwight, incomplete. Todd Light on the coverage. This is kind of a homecoming game for Todd Light. His father is the deputy chief of police down in Savannah, Georgia, going to make his way up for this game.
Todd Light right there on coverage, and that pass, they never really replaced him. They brought in Chris Callaway. They really worked in preseason for Timmy Dwight and Ronnie Harris and Chris Callaway to fill those shoes, but Tony Martin, when he's on the field, defenses just go, hey, that's Tony Martin out there, and they automatically start to backpedal.
Falcons need to get to the Rams 43 for the first. Graziani has the time, but not a receiver, and there's a flag. He gets it to O.J. Santiago, got the yardage, got into it the first time these two teams met with the rookie linebacker Troy Pelchak, this time going at it with Grant Wistrom.
You know what you say right there is don't lose your head right there, Bob. You lose your helmet, but don't lose the head. Don't make that type of poor decision. Talked to Bob Whitfield about getting tossed out in that first game. He said, I was working the rookie over, Troy Pelchak, pretty good. Slammed him to the ground. And
defense, penalties offset. Repeat third down.
So the original penalty against Robbie Tobeck, but they're going to call that unnecessary roughness on DeMarco Farr, so they offset. You know, like we used to do in the schoolyard? That's going to be the final play of the third quarter. The Rams lead at 34-10. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after a word from their local Fox station. 46 for the first. They don't get that. They get the sack to the Rams. Ball. Their defense has been about their only bright spot.
This is the toughest thing for an offensive line and linemen to do. Protect when you're down 24 points in the fourth quarter against a team that says, let's pad those stats, let's get ourselves some sacks, and let's go knock out another quarterback and win a divisional game.
Dan Szynski, one of the best in hang time in all the NFL. Excellent, so he's better than excellent right now.
Oz Hakeem, the leading punt returner in the NFC. One way to shut him down is to have the hang time like that and let him fair catch punt after punt like he's done today.
There's going to be another punt here, maybe. The Falcons called for an ineligible man downfield.
Hopefully likes to line up again on a punt and have to run 50 more yards at full speed.
Number 51 to the kicking team, illegally downfield. 5 yards, repeat fourth down.
Who came in last week, a rookie, and played very well at middle linebacker when Jesse Tuggle was injured. Forced a fumble last week, which was a big play in the game, and then certainly, the 6 tackles that he accumulated. He's going to be a good football player. The Falcons are counting on him.
Well, the Rams don't mind this punt over because they were backed up to the 16, but it also, as you mentioned, Oz Hakeem, the leading punt returner in the NFC, number 2 in the NFL, gives him a chance to try and make something happen.
Yeah, and when you know
their catch once again, flags down once again.
This is going to be against the Rams. Trying to keep Elijah Williams from making the tackle. They're guilty of illegal use of hands.
Holding called on the Rams, so they're just going to back him up.
They're double teaming Elijah Williams.
Time out.
So the Rams penalized on Dre Bly's home, but they lead it 34-10.
By Visa, the preferred card of the NFL. Visa is everywhere NFL fans want to be. And by HiFi.com for the best in home theater, audio, and video equipment. Sign on, sit back.
Chris Chandler, the Falcons quarterback, has come back from the locker room, taking a seat on the bench. Rams first down from the 19. Play action, Warner to Isaac Bruce. Bruce, hog collar, brought down by Eugene Robinson, and there's more pushing and shoving. 12 yards on the pickup by the Rams. A few minutes ago, they were playing Marcy and the time here on the sound system. Falcons kind of running out of time. They're about to fall to 1-5.
Have you heard about the St. Louis Roots competitor? He actually got up smiling. I asked if I could slow me down. Isaac might even start pointing to the scoreboard to show what's really happening today.
Bruce and the Rams looking to go to 5-0 for the first time since 1989. Makes another catch. Avoids the tackle out to the 37-yard line.
Now, you know, the Rams' philosophy is get aggressive early, get points on the board, and then run the ball late. And the whole genius behind this offense designed and said, we think that the key to winning offenses in this league, like Ernie Zampese used to do and who he learned from, was one-on-one matchup, isolate matchup, and then win. When you've got Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce, Marshall Falk, you're going to win a lot of matchups.
Two receivers in for the Rams. Falk alone in the backfield. Out to the 45-yard line. Isaac Bruce not only doing the job catching, but throwing blocks as well.
Working on his old nemesis inside, going low. That's a payback right there on Eugene Robinson. From the horse collar, when he got tackled out of bounds, he went low. And that's kind of a cheap shot on Isaac Bruce's part, but that's a payback for what Robinson did to him on the sideline.
Marshall Falk, 17 carries, 132 yards rushing. Warner, out of bounds. Pressure from Lester.
Crockett picking him up that time and knocking him off, forcing Warner to throw this ball away. Here's Bruce coming into the inside. He wants to run across that middle. Right there, roughing Hamilton all over. Pat on the helmet there from the middle linebacker, Crockett.
Marshall Falk deep in the eye. Pitch it to him. He's in a Falcon pit. Stuck a leg out there and got him, but 50 yards on the run by Marshall Falk.
We've seen this play twice today. This is something like that LSU would have run where Marshall, or something from the SEC, this little pitch option on the outside. Now watch the center, Mike Verdazaria, right here downfield. Does a nice job of Marty Carter. Marshall Falk, there's the trip by Carter.
He's got a hand on him. That's all it took. Yeah, as he's had all season long combined. That's Robert Holcomb, going to fall just short of the goal line.
Well, the incredible Hulk running through the line just got smacked trying to reach for that touchdown. Falcons still have a few bubbles left in them.
Number 50.
Out of them is these bubbles, the last bit of air, and for the Falcons, they still got some Drew bubbles left in them. They'll still got a couple hits out of frustration, out of pride, from a team that still flies the NFC Championship banner from a season ago in here. That last hit, keeping Holcomb out, showed that.
St. Louis calls a timeout, but we could be watching the changing of the guard here in the NFC West. The Cinderella team last year, Falcons, trailing the Cinderella this year, the Rams. Sitting by himself in the nest. The Rams, second and goal from the 1-yard line. Robert Holcomb into the end zone, touchdown, Rams.
And the beat goes on for these Rams, who can score points like nobody else.
This is 8.
Now, this is 4 weeks in a row they've been over 35 points. And no team in Ram history in 62 years has ever done that.
Jeff Wilkins gets the extra point to make it 41 points. Rams all over the Falcons here in the fourth quarter, 41-10.
Draft beer is an extension of the brewery brought to you, and what I mean by that is beer in its most perfect condition for a restaurant. The result.
Rams putting up 41 points this afternoon. Marshall Falk, 181 yards rushing, setting up a lot of it. 213 total yards.
Yeah, you know, this could be looking at a guy that could be player of the week. They've only had 3 of them in a row here.
Yeah, that's all.
That's
all, just 3.
But, you know, every week it's somebody else. If it's not Oz Hakeem, it's Isaac Bruce. If it's not him, it's Kurt Warner. I mean, plenty of awards to go around. Just 3 weeks ago when he had 172 all-purpose yards. And he certainly outdone that here today. This is the run that set up the last touchdown. Nice little pitch. Option. Now, what's interesting about this, you never see another Falcon in the picture. Nobody catches Marshall in the open field except his shoelace.
But here it is. 3 guys, 3, 4, and 5 of the weeks that they had players of the week, and this is week 6. Marshall falls over the
49ers, and is it Falk this week against the Falcons?
Ken Oxendine, the lone setback for Atlanta. Gets the carry. Falcons on the verge of falling to 1-5, and it's going to be an awful tough hole for them to climb out of, especially considering the Rams are looking to go to 5-0. And not only that, in this division they will have beaten Atlanta twice, head-to-head, and San Francisco as well.
It'll be very tough, and then the accumulation of injuries. But you know, talking with guys like Ray Ball record, 2-1 in the division, we can still win it. And it certainly slipped out of their hands today.
It'll take an awfully huge comeback to do it if they do it this afternoon. Tony Graziani, though, might have helped him. Reggie Kelly. That's the rookie tight end all the way down to the 25-yard line. That'll certainly help the Falcons get out of the hole. 52 yards on the pass play.
Well, Reggie Kelly working his way into this lineup. Made his first NFL catch last week. And you've seen the big guy can run. Talking to the tight end coach, Edwin, and you can see why. You can see him in the open field, what kind of target he is and how he can run with the ball.
And Santiago is a restricted free agent after this season. The Falcons want to look and see what Kelly can do. He has certainly impressed them this afternoon. First down from the 26. Oxendine. Gain of 4. Troy Pelchak with the tackle.
One group that has been overlooked, I think, in this resurgent Ram team is up 1 touchdown a week ago. The one touchdown that San Francisco scored was off of an offensive fumble. They've defended their goal pretty well this year. A lot of players that were young a couple years ago, Kurt, have gotten old and experienced.
Ephraim Salam, the right tackle for the Falcons, the injured player right now. We'll check on his condition in a moment.
Which was good.
Though, another former Giant who came here with Dan Reeves for the Falcons. Play action. Oh, Graziani, all kinds of time, wide open, decides to keep it. But he does nothing, actually loses 2 yards on the sack. Jeff Scanina. Troy Pelchak get it.
Well, the injury to Salam happened on the play before. You're going to see the center, Robbie Tobek, number 61, is going to fall right into the back. Right here of Ephraim Salam's calf. And the injuries continue to mount here for the scrimmage by Jay Williams, the defensive end.
Third down, the Falcons need to get to the 16 for the first. Graziani gets it there. Down to the 11. 12 yards on the pickup to Terrence Mathis.
Terrence Mathis is still getting it done. He's still a dangerous receiver. You're going to see him right here on the outside. Just going to work the middle of the field right now. Working right there in the middle against Taji. And a lot of repetitions this year. Is an improving quarterback. He's no Chris Chandler. But he's getting through that ball quickly right now. And he's seeing the field a lot better.
First down from the 11-yard line. Little mix-up there, looked like. Oxendine gets back to the line of scrimmage. Devin Bush, the former #1 draft pick of the Falcons, gets the tackle.
Yeah, that's an old play from the...
He almost whammed the quarterback there, Graziani.
Yeah. That's Nate Hopgood-Chittick there that he was blocking against. He never saw him. But he stuffed the play. You don't block the inside defensive tackle, you blindside him with somebody coming in motion.
Christian all alone in the backfield on second down. Terrence Mathis inside the 5.
Win against the Saints. He had 11 of them a year ago. Christus Chandler's favorite target in that red zone last year, trying to get into the end zone here. Valiant effort after he catches the ball. Not a big guy, but very strong, especially in the leg.
Mathis, the one-time New York Jet, has come over and continually moves his way up the Falcon pass reception list. Coming in as their 6th all-time. Graziani gets away, but can't find anyone. Overthrows O.J. Santiago in the end zone, but there's a flag down on the play as well. London Fletcher and Tim Dwight going at it. Two little men. Look at it. One about 5'9", the other Tim Dwight. Well, let's just say they say he's 5'8", but you know that may be pushing it a little bit.
Tim Dwight is a feisty guy. I mean, you want him on your football team now. You know, tries to never fair catch a punt. Wants to bring everything out of the end zone. He does 10 yards. Repeat 3rd down.
That's Bob Whitfield, the left tackle. Had to hold because of the blitz coming from the Rams.
Oh, they blitzed Billy Jenkins, the strong safety on the play. You see number 22 is going to cheat up on the play. Going to come right up into the line here. Graziani, you know, one of the what's there, O.J. Santiago. That's a pretty good throw on the ball.
Falcons can get the first down without the touchdown. They need to get it to the 1 to do it, though. Terrence Mathis just falls down after making the catch at the 8-yard line. London Fletcher credited with the tackle. That kind of symbolizes the Falcons' afternoon so far. Wide open, fall down.
I was just going to say that, Kurt. That really does look like a play from that personifies what's going on here. Not just this afternoon, but maybe this whole season.
And the Falcons going for the field goal
into the first half when they were losing, and it doesn't make any sense to me right now. I mean, it was 28-7. Right before the end of the first half, they kicked the field goal. It was just getting Morton Anderson a little bit more confident.
Officially, it's 25 yards, the attempt. And he gets it. The Falcons get 3 points out of that, but once again, I guess you got to give the Rams credit. Their defense standing tall. 41-13 the ball game, which is the lowest in the NFL. Meanwhile, their offense just continues to rack up points, getting 41 this afternoon, and it started early on their first 2 possessions. Isaac Bruce, 6-yard reception, and then Marshall Falk, a 4-yard run.
Got 2 early touchdowns, first 2 drives, razor sharp on offense, and then certainly Tony Horn, 101 yards on the kickoff return as the Falcons scored their first touchdown, came back. Robert Holcomb finished off a drive that was really set up by Marshall Falk's running. You see Marshall Falk, last year's NFL leader in total yards from scrimmage. A big day today. Back 2 big days against the Rams this season. 172 in the first game, 213 today.
And their defense holding the Falcons to just 37 yards on the ground.
And we said today coming in that the Falcons had to run the ball effectively, and that meant at least 30 times.
They thought you meant...
Got the bounce.
And it bounces around and looks like the Falcons may have gotten it. The Falcons got it originally, but it popped out once again. Let's see who got it in the end. Heath Lyle jumped up, had a hand on it, it bounced out, the Falcons recovered, and then it scooted out one more time.
Well, it would be just like a lot of hungry lions feeding on a carcass in there.
It's like watching the Discovery Channel here. And the Rams do recover. So the Falcons once again had an opportunity.
Yeah, that ball was loose, and
it is the Rams' ball.
I mean, it was a great kick by Morton Anderson. Watch the height that he gets on his ball. You can't touch the ball before 10 yards. Keith Lauhausen must have been really hot.
Chad Lewis finally gets it.
Keith Lyle trying to juggle it, and now it's like trying to stab a crouton in the bottom of a salad bowl. And it can't quite get the fork in there.
Justin in a quarterback for them. Anthony, his first carry of the season. He'd missed all the other games recovering from off-season knee surgery, activated for the first time today, and gets a carry. Coming up next, take on the San Francisco 49ers. It's all coming up next right here on Fox.
Brett Favre is certainly the story, and no better benefactor of all that than new coach Ray Rhodes. You know, leaving Philadelphia where they couldn't find a quarterback and landing the NFL's best and riding it.
Second down for the Rams. Ant Lee once again. 4-yard pickup. Sean Sueda with the tackle. He's thrown one pass all the time. He comes in and kind of mop-up duty.
Well, it's kind of interesting, Paul Justin. You know, his travels to the NFL very similar to Kurt Warner. He also was an Arena League quarterback and went over to NFL Europe and played over there and bounced around this league in Cincinnati and Indianapolis. And Kurt Warner said, you know, it gives me a lot of pride when I can come out of the game in the fourth quarter and Paul Justin can go in. Because I was in that situation last year. Got a chance in San Francisco, last game of the season, to take some reps, get out there on the field.
Kurt Warner Day, and who would have thought 5 weeks ago we'd be saying that? He put up over 300 yards in 4 of their 5 games. Today, only 111, but he's still on the pace coming into the afternoon to set a bunch of NFL records.
Well, he got up to the same great start that he's been off in the last 4 weeks, and on record there to maybe break 4 records. You know, today not quite the game that he's had.
But who would have thought the Rams could put up 41 points and Kurt Warner would have 111 yards passing?
And, you know, Kurt Warner is a humble guy. He'll be the first to tell you around in St. Louis between the defensive tackle and Kurt Warner.
And it shows you that the Rams, not only maybe the most explosive team in the league, but certainly the most versatile. Third punt of the afternoon. Tim Dwight was deep, but he's come up. Falcons have no one back to take this punt.
Going for the block, and
exactly.
Nice pooch by Rick Tootin now. A pooch by Tootin?
Poochin' and Tootin', huh?
Poochin' and Tootin'.
I think my mom would get at me if I said that at the dinner table.
Isaac Bruce is Poochin' and Tootin'. Hey, the Reed.